Hey guys, just a couple more of these left this season. It is the Final Whistle podcast, and I am thrilled because Ben is actually joining me this week. Welcome back, Ben.
Yeah, it's good to be back. After the result last week, I was kind of a bit a bit relieved. Maybe I think I picked a decent week to fall ill, but yeah, I'm glad to be back this week and talk about football again.
Yeah, you were missed, and so did the streamers. They really missed you as well. And I know you really wanted to gloat at Chelsea giving the Guard of Honour, but you know what? Arsenal is not too shabby. So obviously it finished Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. I felt like Liverpool threw it away in the second half. I'm being brutally honest. Not that it really matters, but what a dreadful week Arsenal have been having this week. Best team in Europe crashes out the Champions League, and having to give a guard of honour to Liverpool, who Arteta said he's always had more points than Liverpool. He should have always won the league. I tell you what, I will say one thing though, Ben. Losing to PSG on penalties isn't for everybody,
Yeah, exactly.
the English team. But go ahead, your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean today was just one of I thought first half of Liverpool were really good. It was kind of the intensity that we've seen all season, and then second half, I don't know what happened. They just kind of don't know. We're just like all men behind the ball, and normally when we're kicking towards the cup, we kind of push on more, but that wasn't the case until until Marino gets sent off really. And I tweeted at half time. I think Salah's definitely got his eye on the assist record. The amount of times he could have shot today, I can't even remember him having a shot today.
No,
Yeah, we're not quiet because I thought he actually played really well, but yeah, he's definitely trying to get that assist record. But for Arsenal, yeah, it's been a bad week for Arsenal, hasn't it? Yeah, I mean the battle back to 2-2, but it doesn't really do them a lot. They still lose second place. Maybe come third in the two-horse race.
who knows? I mean, like Man City did like completely throw it against Southampton. I was a bit shocked at that because I think it would have
Yeah,
been even funnier if Man City actually with the worst season they've ever had
yeah,
under Pep Guardiola and Pep Guardiola himself, and they finished second. Yeah, you spoke about the second half there, and you spoke about it being a bit of a meh kind of week. Let's dial it back a little. Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Monday announces his departure straight after the Chelsea game that he is leaving. You heard Arne Slot in the press conferences pre-match, going to start Bradley. What did you like? I just found it really bizarre. I mean, like, and I want to get to the whole booing thing as well. And I think because people, it's the hot topic. It is. Liverpool are champions. This game was like a nothing kind of game, just kind of, getting it over the line, if you will, just finish on a strong. Yeah, he said he's not going to play him, and then he brings him on, and he knew he was going to get booed because when his squad number was thingied, he was booed. I mean, what did you make of that? Because I just found that very strange by Slot. I just wish that he just didn't bother playing him because I'll be honest with you, as much as a great servant Trent has been and he has done remarkable things, and we can't take that away, I don't want to see him play.
yeah. It's a tricky one because
I won't boo him as well, if that makes
yeah,
sense. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I've seen a few people saying about this, and I know Scott said during the week that he wasn't going to start. He confirmed Bradley was going to start. I don't know what he said about bringing Trent on or minutes or whatever, but my initial thoughts was obviously Bradley can't last the full 90 and he's on a yellow, so it does make sense in that. But you've got Quansah on the bench who's played right back at times this season. I do wonder whether the smart thing would have just been to bring Quansah on at right back, maybe.
Not unless he's getting rid of him as well.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but I found the booing. I mean, the first thing to say about this, I've seen people up in arms already. The last thing I want to do is to tell anyone how they should feel about this because
Yeah.
it's doing my head in. Everyone telling people how they should feel. Everyone's entitled to feel their own way. When he comes on the pitch, I expected boos. I wasn't expecting him to get booed every single time he touched the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Would I have booed? Probably not. I think I'm kind of in the camp where I wouldn't clap him and I wouldn't boo him.
Yeah. I think what would have been iconic. I think because booing is normally reserved for the opposition, isn't it? Like let's that's how it's always been at Anfield. Or if a player leaves and joins another club that you hate, like Michael Owen at Man United, for example. I think like deathly silence. I know it's really hard to assemble Anfield all together, but just like deadly silent. Like when he comes on, like it makes an impact. But again, everyone's entitled to how to do things. And I'm with you, Ben. I would not applaud him. I just can't do that because I just think his handling of the whole situation has been not great. But I just as well, I couldn't boo him as well. There you go. Yeah, he's good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good now. Thank you.
I think that's a fair point as well. I think it was a killjoy. We're on a high, and I feel like the announcement of Trent as well. Sorry, I've not had a chance to speak about it. The announcement of Trent as well, kind of, for me, we all knew he was going to go. I just wish he just announced it at the end of the season. I felt like it almost kind of overshadowed, or he tried. I don't think he meant to, but it almost felt like the shine was trying to be taken off what Liverpool have achieved this season. That's how it felt to me. Like me.
Yeah, I was on that kind of. I was on that same wavelength of just announce it at the end. We all know it doesn't need to be said right now. We all know. Just announce it at the end of the season because days like today wouldn't have. Today turned into the Trent show, and it's not fair on the rest of the players. It's not fair on Slot and what we've achieved this season.
No.
Some would say it's not fair on Trent. I'm kind of not on that kind of wavelength. But yeah, just save it till the end of the season. I think I saw reports saying that he'd done it because he didn't want to seem like a coward, but everyone's made their judgment on you anyway, so you're not saving any face by announcing it now. As saw today, you've kind of just put a massive target on your back even more.
Yeah, I don't begrudge him of going, and I think I want to make that brutally honest. Like, he's entitled to have aspirations and dreams. I just felt like his handling of it wasn't great. That's my own, but again, I'm not going to boo him. I'm not going to insult him. I'm not going to abuse him. I just feel like he could have handled that whole situation a lot better.
Yeah,
I think he was always on the card. But anyway, let's talk about the game then. So, there was a couple of nice goals there from Liverpool. Almost a throw-in taken quickly moment by Jones and Robbo jumping on it. Maybe that's the new trend now. But Liverpool was so good in that first half, and they looked like they were really trying to unnerve and rattle Arsenal, and Arsenal looked very much shell-shocked, and I felt like the whole week has just kind of, it looked like it really caught up with them in that first half, because Arsenal in that game reminded me of Man City when they hammered Man City, if that makes sense, that first half.
Yeah. I couldn't put me, because it did look tired. I'll give them that, but you've also got the whole thing of, I mean, Liverpool didn't start training for this game until Friday. So kind of Liverpool have been on the beach all week. So I don't know, but we should have been out of sight in the first half, really. We should have been completely out of sight, the amount of chances that we had. And I actually missed the first goal. Because I think in the lead up to the throw-in, I'm sure Gakpo kind of like stalls and loses the ball. And I actually said, like, oh, I wish he'd just shoot or pass. He kind of just done nothing. I literally lifted my phone up and then, I missed the goal, but looking back, it was well worked. Good ball in by Robertson as well. But yeah, we should have been out of sight. And then second half, it kind of flipped. I think Arsenal built up the tempo and we kind of dropped our levels. So it's kind of just a game of two halves, and probably a draw. A draw might have been fair. I think we still just edged it. I think our first half was better than their second half, if that makes sense.
I know, we almost took it in the second half as well. Robbo scoring a goal that wasn't allowed. I think a fair decision, because I think Konate absolutely assaulted Lewis Kelly there. Much deserved, because apparently I saw on social media he did not applaud us in the Guard of Honour.
Someone done that. Was there someone who done that last week as well?
Silver for Man City.
Yeah.
He's put a target on his back, basically.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Lewis Skelly. I remember him doing the Haaland celebration. We spoke about that. It's just kind of, I mean, he's a good player as well, but maybe he's starting to believe his hype a little bit too much. But yeah, I'm sure as well, I don't know if anyone else picked up on this. I don't think it's the done thing for managers to be in the Guard of Honour. But I'm sure when Arsenal give us the Guard of Honour in COVID, Arteta actually lined up with the players and clapped us on, but he didn't this time. Not that I think managers ever do it, but he did last time. I'm sure I've got a picture of him clapping Liverpool on at the Emirates.
Maybe because in his mind, the best team in Europe does not give the Guard of Honour to the best team in the Premier League, Ben. Get with it. Come on.
Yeah, I wonder what lies I wonder what he's accusing Slot of been saying in the dugout. Do you see how he was trying to say that the PSG bench
Yeah.
was saying that they deserved it, and Enrique came out and said, I don't know what he's talking about.
And it was so funny. I think both those Champions League semi-finals were incredible from like a neutral point
Yeah.
of view. But the post-match to that game was just I've never seen anything like it in my life. Ben, any final takeaways from the Liverpool game? I just feel like it's just a drill exercise now. And I don't know about you, I really want the season to end really quickly. I want Crystal Palace to happen because I just want to see Liverpool lift that trophy. You've got the fans like that is what I want.
We're in that not awkward phase because obviously we're all loving it still and we are champions and we get the glow about it and it's brilliant. But yeah, I'm with you. I just want the Crystal Palace game now. I think we've got Brighton on a Monday night as well, which is like, but yeah. And I'm looking forward to the transfer window as well. I'm really excited for this summer and I'm looking forward to next season already. So yeah.
Fun times. Right, let's move on, Ben. What should we talk about now? Because there's not much going on, but there have been some few interesting things this game week 36. So, should we talk about maybe the northeast side, Newcastle quietly getting in there? I mean, that was a pretty tricky game against Chelsea, and I feel like they completely dominated 2-0. I think their chances are looking very, very solid. Like, I think done almost for the Champions League.
I think other than obviously Liverpool and Arsenal, I think they are not nailed on, but I think they're definitely the favourites to get it. They'll obviously play Arsenal next week as well. If they beat Arsenal next week, they'll go second. And Man City could go second. Arsenal could be down to fourth by the end of next weekend, which is mental. I know they always joke about Tottenham finishing third in a 2-horse race. They could finish fourth.
Oh gosh, that was a mad season. Hey Ben, I've got a really good stat for you. So today, all teams have either conceded 2 or scored 2. That is my
stat today. That is a good stat, yeah.
Yeah, that is my stat today.
Did you see Jackson's red card? I don't know what he's thinking.
See, I was actually out at that moment, and I just came in, and they were 1-0 up at Newcastle. So I was like,
yeah, Jackson got sent off for elbowing Botman. I don't know what he's doing. If you're a Chelsea fan, you're pulling your hair out.
Didn't Gary Neville say a Liverpool player did something very similar and it was nothing like it?
Yeah, he tried. I'm sure it was Conor Bradley. He tried to say
it was. Yes, it was.
He said it's. I'm sure he said like it's a bit different when it was like completely different. Like Jackson stared at him the whole time with force, just elbowed him in the head. Bradley's literally just jumped for a header and just caught him in the face. That's it. But yeah, it's just Gary Neville being a drama queen as always.
Is especially when it comes to Liverpool. But fantastic stuff from Newcastle. I think they will get Champions League football. I do agree with you. I think they could be a quiet little dark horse now. And you know, whilst we're here, let's quickly just talk about Aston Villa as well. I feel like them not being in the Champions League has really, really set them up on momentum because, again, they look like a really tasty team that could potentially do it as well. Obviously, beating Bournemouth on the 5:30 yesterday, I think 1-0. So I think they're a good shout. What did you make of Nottingham Forest, who actually drew to Leicester? Fair play to Leicester, you know, throwing a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it was a good game, actually. I couldn't believe they didn't see it out. I don't know whether you saw, but obviously Aina and Buonanotte were giving it to each other, and then Buonanotte went and scored. And obviously, the rivals, I'm pretty sure, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they are. I think, they are. Like a Midland derby there.
I'm sure the Leicester fans will love that. So it's hard to see Forest getting in, but again, they're only a point off Chelsea, a point off Villa as well. So, and they've got Chelsea last game of the season, so there's still so many twists and turns to come. I think it's between Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Forest for the Champions League. But the owner at the final whistle. Oh,
what did you make of that?
It infuriated me. It really, really wound me up.
Anyone that's not seen it, let's just kind of recap, and Ben, tell them what happened. Final whistle, you see Nuno shaking hands with Vardy, I think it was, and he's just walked away from him. The owner just marches himself onto the pitch and just gives him an earful, right?
Yeah, it's like earful, like hand gestures, like the whole thing. Like he's had previous with this owner as well, coming on the pitch, and I'm sure he'd done it against us. Remember when Nunes scored in like the 99th
Yeah,
minute?
yeah,
I thought he just seems like a bit of an idiot, to be honest. And if you Nuno, I mean, that point secured them European football. Obviously, not guaranteed Champions League football, but guaranteed them European football. Considering they nearly got relegated, if you Nuno, I just can't believe he's went on like that. But I mean, Forest, like Ismail Everest says, Forest have kind of bottled it. To be fair, it's hard to say bottled it because we have this conversation so much where a team gets in a position that they probably shouldn't be in, and then maybe they start showing the results that they should have the whole time, and
yeah.
people say it's bottling. I don't know, but I kind of hope they still get in there. It'd be nice to see a different team in, but if you knew, no, I'd be furious if I was Nuno.
He handled it really well, the patience on the man. I was like,
Mm.
I would absolutely lose my cool. But I suppose that's your boss and he's paying your wages. Maybe
Yeah,
you do maybe
yeah,
bite your tongue. Okay, so we talked about all the results finishing on like either team scored two or conceded two or as it were today. That was the theme. Two teams that are both playing in the Europa League. Manchester United losing 2-0 to West Ham. I don't know how you do that. And of course, Tottenham losing at home to Crystal Palace, who were the FA Cup finalists. I find that quite interesting that there's some different teams in various competitions. I think that'd be really good. Man United and Spurs, I mean, great for them that they made Europe. I mean, the fact that they could sneak into the Champions League, but are they saving their best for the Champions League? Because I'm gonna be honest, and I think it's there for everyone to see. Both teams have been awful this season, and I
yeah,
mean on the whole trajectory. I don't think they've had a spark of like, oh, good form. They've just been horrendous, underwhelming.
yeah. Just awful. I mean, it's kind of a battle for 16th place. Who would have thought the Man United and Tottenham would be battling for 16th place? But I saw a stat earlier that if you took away, it's a bit of a confusing stat. I'll try and explain it in the best way. If you took away the points that teams have won against the bottom three, so any points you've picked up against Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, take
Yeah.
them away from every club, Man United would be the worst team in the league, other than them three, if that makes sense. It's like
Yeah, it
they're on,
does.
they're on, they're on 39 points, but a lot of them, like, imagine if they hadn't beat the bottom three, who I guess face aren't Premier League sides. They're not nowhere near Premier League level.
No, I think that is absolutely a dreadful, dreadful start. And like, I
I
guess
think,
that's it. Like, my mum's a United fan, Ben, and she was seething at them losing to West Ham. It was 1-0. And I was like, dude, your season's over. Just focus on the Europa League. Like,
yeah,
literally, you've got nothing to play for. And I think the players are probably doing that as well. But okay, so in your opinion, then, Ben, who do you think's had if you're like either a Spurs fan or a Manchester United fan, who's had the worst season? Given the fact that United have changed the manager as well and probably spent a little more in the transfer window as well, I will
yeah.
give that, but it's not Ruben Amorim who spent that money. So, in your opinion,
It's got to be Man United. It's got to be, yeah, like you said, the amount of money they've spent, and Tottenham getting to a European final as well as that, it does save them. Whereas Man United, with the squad they have, should be able to compete on both fronts.
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of picking the best out of a really, really bad bunch. But yeah, I think Man United have had probably the worst season in terms of like expectation and where they should be. You could make an argument that they've had the worst season in the Premier League, maybe even in English football compared to where they should be this season.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And I think in defense to Spurs to some degree, I know he only plays a certain style and it frustrates people that he won't change, but I remember just before Christmas, all his centre backs were out and his
Yeah,
goalkeeper was out as well. And I think you have to kind of remember that as well. Like he had a lot of injuries,
yeah,
which
yeah, and
obviously didn't.
they've still picked up some big wins on the way. I mean, they smashed Man City 4-0 away from home. They've smashed a few teams, and I mean they've scored 63 goals in the league, which I think is like third, fourth best in the league. So yeah, I think if they hadn't lost the centre backs, they'd be a lot higher. Whereas Man United, I just think the whole thing's went wrong completely.
Well, it's me, Everest here. He's got a counterpoint for us, and I think it's again fair. I'd say Spurs because Andrew's been here longer but showed no progress in the Premier League. Fair. While Amorim, despite being this low, is still quite new, and at least he's gets a pass for it. Now that's a fair point. I think we weren't talking about just the manager. We talk about the club in general because I think Amorim has done fantastic to come in where he has and got them in the Europa League. Kind of reminds me a little bit like, and I don't want to say it, Jurgen Klopp in his first season. Granted, we were a lot better in the Premier League. We just were. I think we finished 8th that season, but the fact that Jurgen Klopp got us into 2 finals that year. So there are some. I don't know. There are some kind of like similarities for me. Even their Lyon game, like they hit Maguire, we hit Lovren. He scored the winner. He scored the. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit mad.
And just on that, I think Amorim in the Premier League since he come in is averaging less than a point a game though.
Sorry, I'm swearing a lot.
24. I think he's been in charge for about 24, 25 Premier League games, and I think they've got about that amount of points. So it's relegation form in any other Premier League season.
Lucky for him, 3 more teams are coming up in the Premier League. So you're getting easy to a couple of points there. Ben, obviously we have got things to look forward to. The Championship playoff. Who would you like to see come in?
I'd like to see Sunderland come up.
Me too.
Just obviously, I'm sure everyone's seen the Netflix documentary. It would be nice to see them back. I mean, a club of that size shouldn't be out of the Premier League for as long as what they have. And I'm just bored to see them.
As well. They fell quite hard.
Yeah. I mean, they were very close to going in administration. So to have them back would be nice. I mean, I dread to think what points tally they would get if they did come up. Same as like if Bristol City came up, which they won't because I think Bristol City are 3-0 down in the first leg. I'm just bored of seeing the same teams coming up and down, so it'd be nice to see someone new rather than Sheffield United come up, go down, and then come up.
Yeah, I'm bored of them. I want Sunderland as well, purely because, like you said, they were in the Premier League. We've not seen them for a while. Secondly, I feel like we need a Northeast derby. Like those guys are really passionate about football. We need something like that. And so that's my second point. My third point, Ben, it links to the transfer window. I want to read articles about Jordan Henderson making a hero's return back to Sunderland.
Honestly, if Sunderland go up, I can just see that happening already.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, it would be cool to see. Depends what wages he wants. I'm sure he almost went to Monaco and then he had that big bust up with the journalists a few months back, didn't he?
Yeah.
It would be cool to see Henderson, but I know some fans have this weird sort of kind of hatred for Henderson, but I don't really understand it. But it would be nice to see him back in the league.
I mean, I'm not his fan. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, but I just thought I can just imagine the headlines that he's been linked to Sunderland. Like, it's so blatantly obvious. But I would like to see Sunderland come up. Not for that, just purely because
all their fans still love him as well. Absolutely love him.
That's nice.
They've done a post before the playoff game, and he sent a message, and it was on like the social media for them and stuff. So he hasn't forgot where he came from.
No, that's good. On a side note, I think his Ajax team lost 3-0 today or something.
So there you go. They've been dreadful since he went, haven't they? I'm sure they've been really poor.
I think they've been dreadful before, and I think they've just hit a new low for them as well. Ben, any final thoughts or takeaways that you want to share?
No, just like you say, I'm just really looking forward to the trophy lift and the parade. I can't wait for that. And then next season we do it all again, and hopefully we'll be talking about Liverpool winning the league again.
Here's hoping. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening, and we will be back next week. I don't think we'll be covering Liverpool because it's Monday Night Football, but we'll talk about everybody else. Hopefully the Arsenal and Newcastle game will be the one to watch and keep an eye on. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and we'll catch you soon.